Emily Parker had once been the kind of girl who couldn't sit still, running through the yard, chasing her dog, always barefoot and wild-haired. But all that changed 2 years ago, when she collapsed during a routine soccer game. What began as numbness turned into paralysis within days. After a string of tests, doctors diagnosed her with a rare neurological disorder that affected her spinal cord. The prognosis wasn't kind. Her parents, Rachel and David, tried everything. They flew her to 3 different states, consulted the best neurologists, paid for experimental treatments, and enrolled her in grueling physical therapy. But nothing worked. One by one, doctors began using phrases like permanent damage and quality of life. Hope faded. Emily, once a tornado of energy, withdrew into silence. She stopped asking when she'd walk again. In a town like theirs, small, dusty, and slow, news traveled fast. People whispered about the tragedy of the Parker girl. But by the 2nd year, even sympathy ran thin. People moved on. Riley. James did not. She wasn't a doctor. She didn't have degrees hanging on her wall, or a clinic full of specialists. What she had was a beat-up garage on the edge of town, shelves full of spare parts, and a mind that never stopped trying to figure things out. At 29, Riley had made a name for herself by fixing things no one else could, from antique motorcycles to busted farm equipment to electronics long declared dead. She was the kind of person who saw a broken object not as a failure, but as a challenge. One evening, standing in line at a hardware store, Riley overheard an older woman talking about that poor Parker girl who'll never walk again. Something about the phrase bothered her, not the sadness, but the finality. Riley didn't believe in never. That night, she went home, opened her sketchbook, and started to draw. She'd never built anything medical before. She wasn't even sure it was legal, but she didn't care. If no one else was trying anymore, she would. She started with research, hours upon hours of studying how the human body moved, how muscles worked, how paralysis disrupted signals between brain and limb. Then came nights of experimenting with motors, pressure sensors, and recycled electronics. She began crafting a lightweight exosuit, a wearable support frame that could move with the body and respond to muscle intent. It took her nearly 7 weeks to get a prototype. It wasn't pretty aluminum rods, plastic joints, wires that looked like something from a sci-fi film, but it functioned. In theory, at least. Riley didn't go to the Parkers with promises or big speeches. She showed up at their front door one Sunday afternoon, her invention packed in the back of her truck. Rachel opened the door and blinked at the sight of a grease-streaked woman holding what looked like robotic legs. I know this sounds crazy, Riley said, before anyone could speak. But I think I can help your daughter walk again. At first, they thought she was joking. Or worse, another fraud selling hope. But something about her, maybe it was the quiet confidence, or maybe just the fact that she didn't ask for a dime, made them listen. Emily, now 12, and exhausted from hope that went nowhere, was skeptical. You're not a doctor, she said bluntly when Riley entered her room. Nope, Riley said, placing the device on the floor. But I build things that work. Over the next few days, Riley customized the exosuit to Emily's body. It took adjustments. Sensors had to be aligned with her remaining muscle activity. Motors needed calibration to support her weight just right. Emily watched, half curious, half detached. Part of her didn't want to believe this might work. Hope hurt more than failure. Finally, it was time. Riley knelt beside her, tightening the last strap. Don't think about walking, she whispered. Just think about moving. One muscle, one signal. Emily closed her eyes. The suit hummed. A faint whirring sound filled the room. Then, incredibly, her left leg shifted. Just a fraction of an inch. But it moved. Asterisk, her eyes flew open. Did you see that? Asterisk, her mother gasped. Riley smiled. Try again, she said. And again. The right leg moved. Then the left. Emily's arms gripped the bars of the walker Riley had brought. Her knees trembled. Her face twisted in a mix of fear and awe. Then, slowly, impossibly, she stood. Not perfectly. Not without help. But she was upright. On her own legs. Asterisk, her mother fell to her knees, sobbing. Her father stood frozen, hand to his mouth. Emily laughed, then cried, then laughed again. I'm standing, she whispered, as if saying it too. Loud would break the spell. Asterisk, Riley said nothing. She just adjusted a loose wire and let the moment live. Asterisk, in the weeks that followed, Emily practiced every day. At first, just standing, then shuffling, and steps. The suit wasn't magic. It didn't restore her nerves. But it amplified what little her muscles could still do. It gave her control. And control meant freedom. Asterisk, she returned to school within months. Not running, not yet. But walking with a strange mechanical grace that made people stop and stare. Kids who had pitied her now clapped when she passed. Teachers cried in the hallways. News spread. Asterisk, reporters started calling. Tech companies wanted to buy Riley's design. She refused. She wasn't interested in fame or patents. This was never about profit, she told one journalist. It was about giving a little girl her life back. Asterisk, when asked how she did what doctors couldn't, she shrugged. Doctors try to fix people. I fix problems. Sometimes the difference matters. Asterisk, Riley went back to her garage, to the machines and the mess, to the quiet world where things could be broken and still come back better. She didn't chase headlines. She didn't need a stage. Asterisk, but to Emily, she was more than a mechanic. She was the reason a little girl who'd been left behind by medicine could walk into her own future, one step, one spark, one miracle at a time.